10 something when we're good.
Yeah.
You see these questions?
All right. I believe that we are live and running again. Do the no-no of all live media and just kind of say, oh, don't say that we just messed up. But look, I'm about owning my mistakes, and so what happens is, you don't plug in your computer, and the show must go on. So it's, what's funny about mistakes is it's not the mistake, it's what the next step is after the mistake. So, we just keep rolling and you power through, not just through the mistake, but say, okay, the next step, we're gonna make it even better and make up for the mistake. So, I think we're okay. I want to thank you guys for coming in. There's only two scripted questions, and so I want to get into them. To me, what was my life change event? And so I think that with that life change event, what made you want to apply for this scholarship? This was a brand new scholarship. I sent it to all the guidance counselors. I sent it out to schools, to everybody that would listen. And so we wanted to know, what's your life change event, and what made you want to kind of pursue this sort of thing? Who wants to take that?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
So for me, my life change event it was right before high school. I went, and actually it was with ROTC, and I was going to an ROTC camp. I had been practicing with the high school football team, and but it just wasn't a great environment. It was like fights and all that kind of stuff. And I went to this ROTC camp right before school started, and I felt like I was in the right spot. I was in the right place. And we learned how to work as a team, how to be a leader, and it was just a great experience overall. And from that point on, I was more productive in school. I made way better grades, and I've just been going these last 4 years. And here I am with this. Thank God with this, and I'm going to ODU. So.
Nice. So how did you learn about the scholarship, and like was it your guidance counselor, or was it like you were just trying to find as much money to support ODU, because your schools aren't cheap, y'all?
Oh right. Well, it was that. Well, for me, I was just looking everywhere, online, and we really had help too. Like our counselors would always,
Cool.
Hey guys, this just opened up, and so they were a really big help. And then of course my parents were really on me as well, so
Gotcha.
they played a part. So
That's cool.
yeah, it all
Good.
worked out.
Good. That's awesome, Jaden. Yeah. Destiny, what about you?
Same with me. My counselor was on it. Like every single day we get emails saying, apply here, apply here. So that's how I heard about you guys.
Okay.
And also my life change moment was really honestly this whole entire year was just crazy. So I like to say I'm a pretty good student. I do good. So when this year came around, I was like, I gotta do better. I want to, really make a change. Even though I'm just a high school student, can't do much, but I can. So I volunteer. I try to do what I can. I want to, like I said before, become a dentist, but I also want to do low income. So once I want to get a practice, hopefully, and make a practice.
Find a way to give back.
Right, give back to my community, because low income communities have so much to give, yet people don't know about that. So I just want to make a change, do what I can.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And I asked Jaden, but do you want to do that in this area, or what I tell my daughters, I got a 15 and 12-year-old, and I tell them, please leave, like go somewhere, go as far as you can. This is your opportunity. So do you want to stick around in this area, or where do you?
I mean, I'll just go with the flow. Hopefully I can, start here,
Okay.
where I originated, and then branch out.
Okay,
So.
cool. I like that. What about you, Michaela? What life change moment, and why'd you apply? And
So I applied because kind of the same reason as you guys. My counselor told us about it, but not a lot of people had applied for it, I think. So I think it was good that I took advantage of that.
it was. It worked out, I think.
Yeah, and I think my life change moment is probably the same thing that you said, was the whole pandemic and quarantine. I think for everyone that just kind of shut down everyone's lives. And I heard a lot of people online saying, like, if this had never happened, they never would have had the time to take a closer look at themselves and why they do what they do, and just kind of take a break and really take life seriously.
Yeah.
Because no one knows when it's our
Yeah.
time, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think the pandemic also kind of helped me realize how much it affects, like you were saying, low income and
Mhm.
people of color,
Mhm.
especially with the protests that had happened over
Right.
the summer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
much stuff happening, and a lot of things that happened, like the gas shortage and climate
Yeah.
change.
Yes, every day.
Yes.
It literally felt like the end of the world. You're like, are you serious? I'm
Yeah.
trying to reach 18.
Yeah.
Let me just get to 18.
I know, that was always my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are living through a lot of things. I mean, so a lot of social reform, a lot of social change, a lot of political issues. I know you're a history buff. There's a lot, and some of it is exciting, but some of it is scary.
Yeah.
Give me your perspective on that as young people, as you're looking at it. Because again, you know, I'm a little older than you. Jaden's been picking on me because he's calling me an old man over here.
Hey, I didn't actually say that.
You know, but I don't know that I ever, even if I look back, you know, I'm 44. I don't know if I look back at 18 that the world was going through so many things at the same time. What is your take on some of those things? And it's not to try to take a political stance one way or the other. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, how does that impact you? Like you said, COVID and being locked down and watching so much change happen economically, politically. How did that hit you?
Kind of like hard in a way, because I like to think of it, we're already living through history. Like in a few years, we're going to be reading about this in our history textbooks. And so I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. This is actually happening. And I think social media plays a big part in it. It's growing and it continues to grow. So it's really just eye-opening for yourself and for know everyone around you.
Yeah. What about for you guys?
Well, it makes me just reflect on, what's happened and what should I do to make sure, I'm a productive person moving forward from all of this, and just seeing all this, conflict between people, I think by the time, we're all probably around your age and we're all starting to take more power.
Still going for it.
Yo, you still gunning. All right, I got you. I got you,
I'm
Jay.
sure he does. I mean, but for real though.
For real though, 20 years from now, like 25 years from now,
Right.
which is hard, right? Again, I wasn't 18 thinking 25 years from now.
Right.
But you're right. When you hit my age and we still feel semi-relevant,
Right.
I mean, this is going to be crazy, and you're
Yes.
living through some pivotal times. How is that going to impact 25 years from now? The fact that you're even willing to think 25 years, I couldn't see past 18 in one day. I couldn't see past 19, right? So young kids don't get that. The fact that you're willing to look at that, appreciate history, and know that I'm a part of history,
Yes.
and that I'm going to be able to then 25 years from now have a say on what that was like to live through it and influence them people to do that. I mean, I think that's really cool for you guys.
Yeah.
And you weren't, your parents had a part to doing it, your teachers. Where did that passion for that come from, right? So your parents all three of your parents did a great job. All the adults in your lives, they get a round of applause, but that was also in you already, right? I mean, I have to believe that. So why are you so passionate about those things?
Honestly, I think because a lot of it affects us. Like for me, my art, like growing up Black, you don't see a lot of representation of yourself, and so you kind of take it upon yourself to put that representation out there. So
Very
yeah,
true.
and that's just a good way
Very
to do
true.
it through.
Just to be an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you could look at, Michaela, like to say, I'm gonna be an example for somebody. I don't know who yet, but again, man, that gives us old people. That gives us chills. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's cool. Why the passion for it? Why the attention?
For me, when I forget how old I was, but it was in 2008, Barack Obama was just elected. And for me, just seeing a Black man just rise up, just to be in that position, it just really inspired me.
Yeah.
And from that, and also from that point, it just really opened my mind to like, wow, anything is possible if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
And that really motivated me, inspired me to just really get into history, really get into politics, and to understand all the people who, really decide how we live, what things we all can do, and all of that.
Yeah.
So that for me was the moment.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, Destiny, are you the most passionate one in your? I mean, do you have siblings?
No.
So you're
but-
only child?
Yeah.
So you gotta be everything. You gotta be passionate
be,
everything.
Gotta be.
But you still have this fire in you.
Yeah, so I think it's really just how you grow up, and even if you don't have someone, that one role model, it just takes one person, whether that's someone in your family or a celebrity. It takes one person to just get you motivated and to inspire others and want to do better for yourself and for people around you.
Yeah. So when again, my only point of reference is my kids. Kids are often intimidated by the fact that they could influence somebody else, that somebody's looking at them. That doesn't scare you three. That doesn't really scare you. So I'm gonna say it in a joking way, right? You guys are weird, right? You're weird, right? You're weird because you have a passion and you're invested in what's going on politically and socially. You're weird because you don't mind that people are looking at you. But you're also weird because you put in the work on something to be able to further education. And there's a lot of things, like your goals, and I'm not down there, but your goals were not to be, YouTubers. Your goals were not to be that sort of thing. You wanted to take some hard studies in some difficult schools and stand apart. Like, are you that different from the peers that you see around you? Or do you have friends that are similar to you? Like, your circles that you run in, are they similar to yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
They're small, but they are out there.
Huh.
It's not just me.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that motivates me personally. Like, in this generation specifically, there's more people that have the same goals that you want to do. So that doesn't scare me, that I know younger generations are looking up to me, because I know I have, like you two, I know I have people around me that will support.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Man, that's really cool. That's really cool. So, just to kind of recap for anybody who's just joining Life Change Lounge, and we're sitting here with our 3 scholarship winners, and just talking life and just talking where things are going. And I'll tell you, it's inspiring to me. Michaela, you were talking about being able to have, when you look at specifically, populations of color, and black and brown populations, and setting an example, setting trends. Some of the pushback I got was, why a minority scholarship? And that's immediate. Like, I was sitting here thinking earlier, money is money, right? Money's green, it don't matter, right? Everybody need it. We all got needs, we all got bills. But it's being able to show, one of the things that I'm hopeful in this experience is to show you, as a small business owner that's gonna give money back, that I'm a black man that owns a small business, and I don't make much, and I must give it back already. So we reach back down to you, that reaches back down to the people that are looking up to you, Destiny, right? And so that's, I think, exactly what we want to do. We want to keep passing that baton on. People in your lives, did you see people in your lives from the old people like me, or older?
Yeah.
But did you have certain people that stood out in your lives that were like, this person always reached down to me, or I always see this person in the neighborhood, in my family, or whatever? Like, who did you see that was of my generation or older that was reaching down to you guys?
My great grandma, she's gonna turn 105.
Wow!
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yes.
You better give her a name shout out. Who is that?
Margaret Lacey.
Yo, shout out to Margaret.
Yes.
105. She
Yes.
better be watching
Oh,
Facebook.
wow.
That is awesome.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And that was another reason why I was very passionate about history, because she always has stories to tell about her time, because she was born in 1916, so a lot was going on.
She lived through a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's cool.
But she always said, for her, the key to life is, don't watch the news, and I love the news, but for her, she was like, I just lived life, and enjoyed life, and that's how she is where she is.
That's awesome.
Just let life be life.
Yeah.
And to have a matriarch in the family that is that old, to be able to just pass it down through
Yes.
generations, not just one generation. It's not just like mom. I mean, you went a few generations
Yes.
up. That's cool. How about for you guys? Older, either my age or somebody older, even older sibling or whatever.
For me, it's just my mom, really. Not to sound cliche.
Go
It's
ahead,
true.
give her a shout out.
It really is
Yes.
true.
It's because you want ice cream after this, don't you?
Yeah. You hear that?
That's right.
But yeah, really, it really is just my mom. She's such an inspiration. She is a go-getter. So I just aspire to be just like her.
That's
Honestly.
cool. Wow, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Have you told her that?
In so many words.
Mhm.
But she hears it now.
See, that's funny because, like, I think oftentimes the reason I make such a big deal that you're here, the reason I make a big deal that you're going to school, so we often assume that we hear it all the time. you had a lot of money coming in, you're smart. I mean, you guys were like 4.7 GPA, like you guys were disgustingly smart, right? So you probably hear it all the time, whatever, but sometimes they don't hear it often. The older generation, or even you guys get the encouragement. Sometimes people forget that, they take it for granted. So I hope that, you encourage her and you tell even great-grandma, like, thank you, and being able to say that, because sometimes we take it for granted that they think they hear it all the time, and they don't. They just keep grinding. So, Mom, good job. Thank you. I'm gonna tell you.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michaela, what about you? Did you have anybody there?
I would have to say the same thing as you. My mom is supports me in a lot of things I do. I don't think I would have chased after art if it wasn't for her and for my dad too. Just because I'm sure when you see little kids just drawing little drawings, you're like,
Right.
oh, it's just cute or whatever. But if you support them at a young age, they take that and it just propels them farther than you could ever think. And so, yeah, just things like that. My mom, and then also my teachers too. When you have, I think in general, when you have adult figures that believe in you, I don't think they realize how powerful that is. So, yeah.
So, okay, so speak to that, Michaela. Speak to us adults who constantly yell at you to pick up your clothes, do your homework, blah, 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 stay within the lines when you color. And we feel like you ain't listening to none of it. And you give us the attitude and the looks and the, but you actually were listening. So why all the attitude? What was that all about?
Because I think, and now I just turned 18 July 3rd, and
Happy
so
birthday.
thanks. And so getting older, I guess you just kind of mature and you realize that it might be annoying to hear that stuff, but that they're saying it out of a place of love, and they say it because they want you to be better, and they know that you can be
They
better.
can see it in you.
So yeah, it's more about potential.
Yeah, it doesn't change how annoying it is. It's still annoying. You're like, please, stop. But you also know that they see something in you, and you just want to have to try to find a way to grab onto it. And for you guys, you grabbed onto it early enough, thankfully.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, it's weird because again, you said you found you run in circles that people have similar interests, similar passions, that sort of thing. Generationally, there's a lot of things that are distracting your generation.
Yes.
Right? How do you fight the distractions? How do you fight? I'm a drug counselor. I'm a substance abuse therapist by background. But how do you fight that? How do you work through the mental health concerns that is COVID and anxiety and depression and trying to find my way, legalization of weed in Virginia, these sort of things that are for real, that your peers and your generation are really working through. How do you keep from giving into some of those things? Or if you have given in, let's be real, how do you still power through to kind of be as successful as you are? Because we're gonna make mistakes. So how do you work through that?
Have the end in mind, always have that goal. And I always tell people, always have those short-term goals leading up to that long-term goal, and then keep going. Just aim high, and that's how I always try to think, and just power through. And just keep your eyes on the prize, as they like to say.
How do you remind yourself of the goal constantly? Is it like a daily sort of
daily
prayer, or is it you got a picture of it? Did you write it somewhere? How do you remind yourself of the goal?
Well, of course, prayer, and then just reminding yourself, because even in those hard times where you're like, man, I just really don't want to study for this test, but I know in the end it's going to pay off. Because for real, it all comes from my parents, my mom, my dad. They always instill in me, work hard because it's going to pay off. And it has, thankfully.
It's cool, Jaden, because so counseling wise, and I just said it, I think, to folks earlier today, especially when you're working with substance abuse, so that you guys know, oftentimes people find a change in their lives for one reason or another, and they run from never falling back to the old behavior. So, addicts will say, I just don't want to be where I was. And so they basically run away from something. What you're telling me, though, is that I'm running towards something.
Right, exactly.
I'm not running from something. I'm running towards something.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I tell my folks, adults, teens, or whatever, is that you have to find something that you're going after, that you want more than you want to run away from.
Right.
And that's what you're telling me. You keep the goal in mind.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. You too?
Took the words right out.
Did he really? He stole it from you, man.
Yes.
I saw him cheating earlier.
I was like, yes, you just have your goal in mind and know how you want to get there. And even then, generational problems come up, just know you want to be that generational curse, like break it. You want
Yeah.
to
And and don't let them define you, because
Yes.
you
Mm.
define you, no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave the mistakes you made in the past.
Yep.
Yeah, and learn from other people's mistakes so you don't make them in the future.
No,
And
that's
don't
who you
dwell
want
on it too much either.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna mess up. Like from
Yeah,
messing
yeah,
up on
you're
these
going
things,
to.
you're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's funny. So that's huge, Destiny. We want to get it right the first time and get it perfect and whatever. Like again,
Yes.
I joke you being scholars and being perfect students. My GPA coming out of my bachelor's was a 2.5. I mean, I was lucky. I finished high school honor society, but it was a graduating class I think of 50 something, 70 something, right? Like it wasn't
Wow.
much. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
small school.
Yeah.
School wasn't my thing. So I didn't mind messing up, and we can talk to you about messing up, but you have this pressure on you then to keep excelling, but you're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Do you allow yourself to make mistakes? Now, do you say that, but you don't allow it? You're like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think?
I think you have to make mistakes to know
Yeah.
what it is you want to do. Like when you do mess up and you look back on it and you're,
Mhm.
reviewing and you're like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have gone about it a different way. That's how you learn from that.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
not to bring art
Yep.
into it again, but
No, bring it, girl. This is your topic.
But-
This is
your
yours.
passion.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do art, but that's how you get better. You just have to do it over and over again. You just have to practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the little Dory, just keep swimming. In the fine and philosophical words of Dory, right?
Yeah.
Right, making mistakes. That's really cool. I think that it's just fun. It's just interesting to hear you really plugging away and avoiding the distractions. How do you help somebody who wasn't as lucky to avoid some of the distractions or give in to some of that, right? Because your ability to excel and then maybe one day reach back is one thing. Along the way, we want to help people along the way.
Yes.
And so sometimes your peers, your friends, your siblings, your neighbors are going through it. Do you kind of say, hey, good luck, and I'm going to keep doing me? Or what do you do? How do you help them with that? Can you help them with that?
Yeah.
I feel like you just do what you can because you're still growing as a person yourself. So just letting that person know that you're there, you can understand what they're going through, might just be the thing that helps them get through what they're doing.
Yeah.
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 And
I-
go ahead.
Oh,
Go
I,
ahead.
I was just gonna say I would agree with you too. Like sometimes there's only so much you can do to help
Mhm.
someone because
Mhm.
like you can look after someone else, but you also have to look out for yourself too.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're putting all your energy into someone who's taking care of you,
All they're doing
right?
is taking.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah.
And not everyone has a role model, and not everyone is pushed. So just being able to push that person,
Right.
I mean, just even a small encouragement that
Right.
will help
Just a
someone
word.
go a word, just like, hey
Mhm.
man, you
Mhm.
got this. Hey girl, you got
Yeah.
this. You're gonna be all right. Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to make it.
It's true.
And then they have to
No.
have to want it for themselves.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You find that one little piece that they want, and you just, and that's literally what we do with counseling, right? Is that we find the one little piece of hope, or we say, hold on to me while I give you, start looking for hope that you have, and then you take that piece and you start growing that seed. They have to want at least a little bit. I think the fact that there's breath in somebody's lungs is time to get it, time to get something,
Yes.
anything, and it's just one foot sometimes in front of the other.
Mhm.
It's exciting, guys, to hear you talking about that. So I'm not your parent, so I can say that we're scared when we say, man, I hope you remember this in December. I hope you remember this 3 years from now when life continues to be life.
Right.
And I want you to kind of say it out loud. We ask sometimes obvious questions as older adults to make you hear it out loud and hear yourself saying that, because you will be faced with challenges. Not encouraging sort of the fear part of it, but does the future worry you? Does the future scare you at all? Does it whatever? I mean, you've done great to this point. You've done a lot of things. We've talked about everything until now, but we know that sometimes you sit there and you're like, whew, I'm about to, or what's it going to look like 25 years
Right.
from now?
Mhm.
Does it, what do you think future-wise?
Honestly, I feel like when it comes to future, I feel like it's not like one set path. I don't feel like time is like past, present, future. I feel like there's all these different branches of different things that could possibly happen, and it just depends on your choices. So I don't think it's like set in stone. I think it just depends on what you do, and you can't control what happens, but you can control how you react to it and how
Right.
you process it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not worried about the future.
Cool.
You know, but I look forward to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's cool. You're excited about it. Cool.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Like, does it sway you sometimes?
For me, no, because when I think of the future, as she said, I think of possibilities, just endless possibilities. Like, what can I do? And one thing I always say is life is too short. So just make the most out of it and just take
Yeah.
everything you can. Like my parents always say, look, man, if you're gonna get that doctorate, just do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now, because life's too short.
Yeah.
And that's the way I, try
Sure.
to see everything in the future.
Yeah, go after. And it kind of fits into your generation, Jaden, of being so hungry. Like we older folks call it like the microwave sort of generation. Everything is immediate, and so
Yeah.
it fits right into that of
Yeah.
do it now. You're just gunning. I mean, you are going. So
Yeah.
use that motivation, that
Right.
encouragement.
Keep
Keep
going.
going.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Does it worry you at all? Destiny?
No, I have to agree with you guys because
Even though he's your rival in school, remember you're
I
you
know,
know
right?
what? Frenemies.
Frenemies.
There we
Go
go.
down.
I like that
Hashtag
word.
to that.
Yeah.
I like that word.
But yeah, it doesn't worry me because I know that God has a plan for everyone. So
That's right.
whether it worries me now, I know in the future it's gonna get better, and we just have to keep pushing, do what we're doing.
Right, right. So we've got about a little over 20 minutes left to just kind of talk, and there's a lot of comments coming in. I welcome the questions and the comments. I want the folks to just continue to respond. I promise that if we don't get to all of them now, that I'll send it to these guys, and we can just blow them up and make them really speak on that. But I want to hit you guys with some different questions that are coming in, because I'll tell you. And by the way, if you hadn't done this, y'all are doing a great job. There's a question that came in for everybody. All right, being a minority in America, how will each of you advocate for diversity and inclusion in your particular fields that you chose to study and everything? So, wait, why do you get excited, Jaden?
I love that. So for me, that's like another reason why I really want to go into education, because one thing about it, a lot of my friends, they didn't know about scholarships like these, and that's really one thing that I want to do when I am hopefully a principal one day, thank God, hopefully. But like to have these, just people being informed, just
Right.
kids our age being informed, because a lot of kids aren't informed about all these resources, because they're out there. You just got to find them.
You got to
And
look. You got to put the
right.
work in.
Exactly. And I think just having something like that, just to inform the kids of what is out there, what can you get, and just having mentors to advise them, especially
Right.
during this time
Right.
before you go to college, because this is a stressful time.
So look, let me be even more. This is me playing, poking the bear a little bit, right? So here's the thing, Jaden. There's often a batch within minority circles that say, "I don't gotta look for it; it's coming. It's here." We're in a time frame where, this is a different time of life where everybody's paying attention to social reform needs of minority
Right.
populations. I don't gotta work for it; it's gonna come. It's gonna fall in my lap. You don't think so?
I don't. I've always had the mindset you got to work for what you want, and I really do think not everything is going to be handed to you, and that doesn't even feel right for me, because it's always about just working hard, because it's always going to pay off.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it has for me, and I think it has for other people too.
Yeah. What do you guys think? How do you advocate for diversity and inclusion in your fields?
Well, I think going into college, that's when it really starts. Or that's starting your own club, trying to, inform more people. And for me, I know that we need more black people, more black women specifically in the healthcare community. So I want to be that pillar. I want to help. I want to spread the word. Just inform.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the most important thing.
Yeah.
Inform, and that's easier a little bit now. Social media, everything.
Yeah,
Yes,
you've
it
got
is.
every opportunity, every means to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Back in our dark ages when we were writing dinosaurs, Jaden, I'm telling you, this dude, it was hard to send a message on carrier pigeon, to the next community.
Telegrams.
You
I know,
right?
right?
I mean, what was wrong with the telegram and typewriters? But you're absolutely right, Destiny. You have every opportunity literally at your fingertips to spread the information and inform, right? And so catching on when a scholarship comes out, and you're like, yo, y'all check this one out, boom, and I blasted it to all my friend circles on IG, on Snap, on whatever, right? That's huge. And we didn't have that back then. So can you capitalize on those opportunities?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yes.
And it's up to you if you want to do
Yeah,
it.
No doubt.
It's right there.
You have no excuse not to.
No
Right.
excuse.
Right.
No
So
excuse.
yeah, it kind of landed in your life, but you got to go get it. It's
Exactly.
right there to take. But nobody's gonna put it in your hands and
Right.
and just give it to you. You got to put some of the work in.
Right.
But it's easily accessible. Yeah. What do you think? How do you bring about awareness of the diversity and inclusion especially for artists? Are you excited about this?
I like this question.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So,
I'm
I
curious.
just think the arts is such a great field for representation, like I was saying earlier. I remember like in middle school when they would give us like the little packs of crayons, say, oh, draw your family and stuff. Like they would have 3 shades of skin tone colors, and it was like light tan and black, like
Yep,
very
yep.
black. And it was like just little things like that
Right, yeah.
need to change. I think the arts like poetry, writing, theater, singing are platforms that black artists, not just black artists, but like any minorities in general, can use to amplify their voice and make it heard. And even throughout history, we've seen like photographs, protests of songs, like just really amplifying the voices of minorities. And it's just something it's just unmatched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And you've seen opportunities. I'm gonna hand this to you just to hold it a little bit better so that we can get hearing. You've seen some of that even now, right? Me and my kids just watched In the Heights, and you see plays like that, that are really celebrating a brown culture and just an artistic form of playwrights like that, of arts, of different types of arts and those sort of things. And that's again encouraging and inspiring. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, question we got here. Let me see. Keep sending the questions in, guys. I promise you, if we don't get it tonight, we will get it to them. Destiny, this for you. What population of patients do you want to work with in the medical field when it comes to dentistry and orthodontics and that sort of thing? Like, I know you wanted to give back. Does it get more specific than that?
I feel like as I go, I could have a better answer for that. But like I said before, just low-income families itself, black families, minority families in general, and anyone who's just struggling. I know we all, have our problems, want to struggle. So I want to do as much as I can do in my time. Yeah.
So I think that what you're saying is, I mean, I can be specific, but I just want to help.
Yeah.
I just want to help. I mean, I think that there's a need, there's just a need. And I just want to be able to be a valuable tool in being able to treat the need.
Yeah. Whether that's here or somewhere else, I just want to be there.
No doubt. Now, what if that somewhere else is stupid cold and population 4, or what if that somewhere else is 3 days away from home, and it's really remote and it's not as much access to some of the support you have here and the way you look up to mom. Again, are you willing? I think that there's almost a need for you young to say, I'm going to be willing, even though I haven't faced that yet. At least got to consider some of these things and know that that's a possibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm willing to do that.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. When you know your limitations, at least initially now, you can then start working through some of them or saying this is just where I'm at. And it's okay to set boundaries. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to say, I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
In counseling, I don't work with little kids. I don't. I have, a 12-year-old. I will not see a 12-year-old as a client. Will not. I will jack their world up. They will be more therapy, trauma therapy, as a result of coming to me as a therapist. I cannot work with older generations. Didn't grow up with grandparents, and so when I know my limitations, you don't have to say yes to everything. You're allowed to say no.
Right.
I think sometimes people get it twisted that young kids have to say yes to everything because you just don't know anything yet.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of our pressure to do good, do well,
Yes.
and be perfect at everything. But we also have to know when to say that's enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good.
And a lot of people are scared of saying no, but
Yeah.
it's okay, as you said, to say no
Yeah.
because it's not always right for you.
Yeah. I tell my clients, and it's a good point, Jaden. The enemy of the great is the good. You can say no to the good things. You don't have to just say no to the bad things. You can say no to good things because I'm pursuing greatness.
Right.
And so if I say no to this good, I know that I'm going after something great. So don't you don't have to necessarily take every opportunity. Be selective and go after greatness, right? And that's huge. That's really cool. So Jaden, for you, this is a question that came in. Do you still have a desire to go into the military after college? And if so, what branch and why?
Okay. So, for me, and man, I'm not surprised by this one. So, I get asked this one all the
I'm
time.
sure you do.
All the time. So, I won't be going in though, but if I were, then it would be the Navy. I was in the Navy ROTC in high school for 4 years. I loved every minute of it.
Wow.
Yeah, but I really want to get into the education field because, I really do think we need more people of color to
No
be
doubt.
in the classroom
No doubt.
because,
and
like,
males. I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you what, it's hard
yeah.
to really find educated, strong males.
Right, right.
That stand for something in the classroom. And
Right,
so I think
right.
that's huge. You're
Right.
absolutely right.
Yeah, and just, I saw one guy out of my whole 4 years, and just being able to be that role model for other guys and even girls too,
Right.
just, being able to see all that, I think will really be good.
I think the way that, because I know that this generation too is dealing with a lot of gender concerns, a lot of gender injustice, a lot of prejudice, a lot of those things. So what I will say about this is that it's good to see the entire spectrum represented, right? And so what I want to be able to see is not just that it's an all women's sort of field, right? Counseling tends to be a feminine field, and so people are like, "You're a guy?" Well, yes, I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I still am, and that's okay. I want to see the entire spectrum represented, and so I think that that's okay to say.
Yes.
And I think it's okay to say I want to be able to provide a complete sort of spectrum and balance to what we see and what we look up to,
Yes,
and that includes gender differences, that includes sexuality differences, right? That includes all those sort of things, but also being a male to be able to represent and be a role model to somebody.
Yes.
So I think that's cool. I think that's really, really cool. Yeah,
I
man.
can't wait. I'm excited.
No, I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I'm excited for you guys. For real. You guys.
Michaela, for you, this one came in. This was
There you
cool. What do you want to study? Which kind of what do you see? What do you want to study in school and why? But more specifically, is it using the platform you have for kind of drawn arts, written arts sort of thing in movies in what kind of way? Like how would you use that?
Yeah. So I really want to go into like drawing, character design, animation, storyboard design, and I guess a little bit of film. I don't know really what it is. It's just I'm just so drawn to it. Drawn.
That was cool. That was fun.
That was so funny.
She gets passionate.
I love. You know what? I love even better that she made herself crack up. That joint right there was hilarious. She just made herself. That was cool.
And aside from art, I also really am passionate about social justice, a little bit of politics, and women's rights of people of color. Just because it like directly affects me, like I think what I could do with it, I see like so many possibilities of what I could do aside from getting into arts and animation and working at a studio. You can also use that platform to make those views heard. Like, you see like a lot of kids shows today are so diverse in their views and like especially with education too, it's really important to have that representation so kids can look up and see like, oh, that kid looks like me on the TV. And they're not just on the TV just for a little sprinkle of diversity in there. It's like they're represented in a positive way.
Right, and in a big way.
Right,
Yeah.
and so that's where I really want to get into that. It's a little bit of the education aspect, a little bit of the politics, but also with art, it just brings it all together.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so we want to again highlight being able to just bring in, and I'm holding the mic like this and just breaking rules because we want to make sure that everything's heard. I want to make sure that you guys' words are captured. And sometimes, Destiny, you're so soft spoken. You just gotta command the microphone. But we want to continue to ask questions and bring questions in. Here's what people are really interested in now. What are you looking forward to most about college, and what are you scared to death about? Or maybe you're not scared, but right, what are you not looking forward to? So the goods and the bads. What are you guys looking forward to, and what are you not?
I'm just excited to be in the dorm that I'm getting because
why is that?
So we're gonna be at VCU. She's going to VCU too, and
Nice.
I got the Gladding Residence Center, which is like the newest, nicest dorm.
Nice. Look, I think mom was like, yes, Lord, yes.
It's the nicest one, and I'm gonna be on the 11th floor, so I got the nice view.
You got the view.
Yeah.
There's a window.
Yeah, like the floor to
Nice.
ceiling window. So I'm just really excited to be there because I just really like quality things. I like
Wow.
nice things.
I mean, back in my day, we had nice caves, and you know, it was beautiful to be able to see Jaden picking on us old people. That's
wow.
good. That's funny. So you're looking forward to where you're living. What are you not looking forward to?
I know that college is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
So, like, my senior year of high school was rough. Just not just because it was online, just the workload and dealing with that with going to work and just trying to take care of myself at the same time. It wasn't easy, and I kind of started slacking a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Senioritis kicked in. That senioritis
I'm
worse.
starting to
Yeah.
It's real.
You know, it's very real.
Yeah.
I never thought it was real.
Yeah. Or you thought, no, that's not gonna be real for me. And then
Yeah.
you know, April hit. As soon as you started getting
April hit,
acceptance letters,
yeah.
you were just like,
Yeah.
Ma, I don't have to be on time,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I think that's definitely what I'm a little, I don't want to say scared, but I have to be prepared for that and
Right.
prepared to get
Right.
like academic help when I need it and to take breaks when I need it to.
Yeah. Find, take care of you and find the balance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking forward to and not?
I'm looking forward to just being around new people in a new environment. You know, I live in Norfolk. I stayed there most of the time, so I just want to venture out. But I made a new friend today too.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Wait, but she's in like a rival dorm, so you're gonna have to.
I'm
like,
actually in
tie
the
her
same
dorms.
dorm as her.
Oh, okay, that's
Yes.
cool. That works then. That
We're
works.
good.
You got lucky.
But I guess what I'm scared of would just be, with freedom comes responsibilities. So making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing like the best I can do, while also taking care, making sure still getting those good grades. No senioritis here.
Yeah, exactly. You got to
Right.
power through. You've got a long way to go being freshmen working all the way up.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta stay committed the entire time. That's cool. What are you not looking forward to?
I don't know, to be honest. Maybe just not being around family. I mean, I'll have some family up there, but it's
Yeah.
different. It's
Mhm.
not the same.
Yeah.
It's like on your own for the first time.
Yeah.
It really is. You have to really establish yourself in your environment and make it your stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your
That's
time to just, really discover who you are.
Yeah. And again, I like that you three are not intimidated by that. You're like, let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go. I'm
Go with
ready.
it.
Being closed up in the house, yeah,
Yeah.
we're ready.
You're ready to get out. So what are you
Yeah.
looking forward to the most, Jaden? What are you
Well,
not?
being able to meet new people like we're doing now, like for me, we've been stuck in the house, I don't know, like almost 2 years. Gosh, so like for
This
me.
was the punishment that your parents strained you about. Listen,
Yeah.
if you keep it up, I'm gonna ground you for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all just got it.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so that, of course, but seeing new people and just being in a whole new place, because high school 4 years, that's a long time.
It is a
I
long
mean,
time.
it went by quick, but I made a lot of friends,
Yeah.
and just being, just having to start over. But
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So one of the questions that came in was, dealing with the highs and lows, dealing with the last, 2 years or so, going into a new year. How will you, looking forward, how will you take care of yourself? We were talking about balance and self-care. How do you cope with being homesick? How do you cope with not having mom's cooking? How do you cope with the stress? What do you do? What do you do to deal with some of this? What do you do now, and what will you try to do?
I think, especially when it comes to mental health, you have to like realize you have to know your limits, and you have to know when enough is enough. And it's like, yeah, I have an essay due tomorrow, but I really don't feel good. Like I don't feel.
So you're gonna remember this when the college parties are jumping off?
Oh.
Listen, that first week, them parties gonna be off the hook.
I don't know. I'm not really a
Party person.
I mean, like,
She said this on camera, y'all. Let's find out. Mom, we're gonna remind her of this one.
I know. I think I'm gonna be. I want to go to a couple just to socialize and make friends. But like, I'm there for my degree, and I'm paying to be there. So I'm not trying to play around. I just want to. Yeah, you won't catch me at a lot of parties.
But part of the self-care and the coping is safety and health. And those are two things that are really, I'll tell you, a concern of your parents, of concerns of those that are sending you off into your schools. How do you stay healthy, not gain the freshman 15? And if you do, you do. It's cool. Some of us never lost it, right? And how do you, right? But how do you stay safe, too, right? Because it's a big bad world outside of your immediate area. So that's part of the coping as well. How do you do that?
I mean, for staying safe wise, I feel like, college, you're looking for new friends, but you gotta realize not everybody's your friend.
Yes.
So you need to make sure you have your tight knit group of people, and when you get that, don't let that go. And back to kindergarten, the buddy system.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
It's true. Make friends quick, but be able to kind of lean on somebody and say, hey, let's go. You have to be aware. And there is strength in numbers too, right? You can't be naive enough to think, I can do this by myself, right? Just because I'm a big boy or a big girl,
right?
No doubt, that's true. What do you think? How do you cope? How do you cope now? How will you look forward to kind of dealing with some of the stressors?
Well, I really do think this past year, just like I think this was a good experience for us because it kind of is like college. You're on your own, like there was no teacher there to hold your hand. Hey, I don't know how to do this. It was like after school, maybe one day out of the week. So I know that really helped out. But as far as the whole safety thing, I'll still kind of be at home. But it's just the point of just as she said, just watching your surroundings, just having your tight knit group, and just staying with that group, because that's all I've had from. Being in first grade to now, just having that tight knit group, and for real, you always find it at the jump, and just stay with those people. And
that's cool.
You'll make it.
There's a sense of loyalty. There's a sense of belonging in certain groups, and so that's really cool when you find acceptance and belonging too.
Yes.
And not only when you find it, but when you're able to give it to somebody else. Because one of the questions that came in was not just volunteering, but helping others. You guys have all spoken about being able to reach out and help out others. So I hope that you can continue to look for ways to include and grab somebody along the way as well. That'd be cool. We've got a few minutes left, guys, of this Life Change Lounge. This has been a quirky yet fun Life Change Lounge. I always ask, so this is the second scripted question that I want to ask each one of you guys, and then we'll kind of take it home with questions from me and then general sort of statements. But if you had to define it for you, right, as you stood here now, as you sit here now and think about it, for me, life change means, and what I'm looking for, what I'm thinking about is like, that transition sort of thing. But to you, life change means what?
For me, it's just this is just the first step for many to get into that door, to opening that door that you really want to do. Like I said, I want to become a dentist. I want to help the community. So this is just my step. I'm gonna keep going. I'm keep doing me. Keep riding the wave. Yes. It's a rough wave, but we're gonna ride it.
We're gonna ride it. We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it. Exactly. Okay. I like that. So life change means what, Jaden?
She took the words out of my mouth.
Man, she's been doing it all night. Exactly.
I know, right? We're going back and forth over here. See,
these rivals.
That school rivalry, I tell you.
That runs deep.
Yeah, it does, but it's all good. So what she said too. I know, right? But it's just changing your life for the better. Just going out there and doing what you need to do. Period. Just going out there, knowing what is going to happen next.
It's funny, Jaden, when you say that, because like life change and changing their life for the better. Some people may think either A, could get no better, right? They've got everything. But the willingness to go and see and the willingness to just explore, I think, is huge.
Yeah.
For some people who have had it rough for a long time and don't think it could ever get any better, having the motivation, the encouragement, the power to be like, go after it and try it.
Yeah.
You know, it's intimidating, but you gotta go find it.
Yeah, and have an open mind, because I was at that point, like, to be here with them, it took a lot, like that life change moment really helped me to just have an open mind on life, just be willing to hear other perspectives and just being open.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Thank you. Michaela, for you, life change means what?
I think life change means passion and following what it is that you want, not just what you want to do, but the changes that you want to see. And even just like your little hobbies and things like that, it's following those things, because again, for me, art, like I went after art just because I just liked it so much, but I didn't realize how many doors of opportunity that it could lead to. And then other little things, like I also like to play guitar, and I'm not good at it, but like I just
you
like
little Carlos Santana going on.
It's cool.
Yeah, so it's like you don't have to be good at those things, but if you have the passion for it, it can take you really far, and it can change people's lives. So that's what I think that is.
Yeah, there's a great quote I use that says, "Genius is talent set on fire by passion." Right, and that passion sometimes drives so many things, and I'm gonna become a genius at what I do because I got a little bit of skill and a whole lot of passion. Right, so I'm gonna be a genius at this. Yeah, that's huge. I'm gonna tell you what, guys, for me, and maybe you could think of, I don't know if there's, we've not met before tonight, really. So if there's questions for me, this is something a little different that we haven't done on Life Change Lines, but you can ask me questions. But I'll tell you this, it's life-changing to me and to those that I work with to put this together and that are in my company, but even in my spheres of influence, to know that we could do something to influence you guys in such a way that like to see the passion in you guys' eyes, to see the excitement is really, really cool. I mean, for real, like I know I'm getting old, but it gives us chills. It does give us, it's exciting, it's cool. Yeah. Sometimes we are fearful that you may not look forward to so many things, and then to see you three as just a representative of your communities, of what we have here. That's really cool, and it's inspiring to us. So to me, life change means being able to see that look in you guys' eyes. And to be able to hopefully, and I pray, be able to have this conversation, whether it's a year or 4 years from now or 10 years from now. Yes, Jaden, I'm still going to be alive.
Hey, I know that.
So it's just being able to see that. It's encouraging to us. And I pray that we can pass that down to you guys. So it's really cool. So this is life-changing for us as well. Don't underestimate the impact that you have on other people that you may not even really notice or recognize that you have an influence on, because it's really cool. As we wrap up, guys, what are any thoughts or questions for me? Because I know this has been different, right?
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
I know you said when you do work, you don't work with kids at all. So does that mean you would never be like a school counselor or anything like that?
When I first went and got my degree, my master's, I got a master's in social work, and I wanted to be a school social worker, and I wanted to work in high schools. So I was real cool. I've always worked with teenagers. I'm cool with teenagers, you guys your age, but I definitely didn't want to go in elementary school.
Yeah.
What's funny, I'll tell you now, Michaela, we have here at Meridian and with Life Change, we have a therapy dog. And everybody loves dogs, and she's a real cool dog. Shout out to Rosa and Rocky. They're doing real good. And so I used to bring them to my youngest daughter's elementary school. So you got kids hanging all over the place. They're running after the dog, and they've been hanging out with me. It's cool to see, again, the inspiration of young kids. The clinical work that I do is difficult for me. It's just a challenge to connect on that sort of level from the young minds. It's just, I have a really hard approach. I have a really blunt, raw approach, and it would traumatize a kid. I just can't, it's just weird. So it's not that I don't like little kids, I just can't clinically work with them. It takes a special skill set that I just don't have. I need hard-headed people like, it is boundaries. It is, it's really knowing your limits. And that comes over time. It comes through trial and error, and it comes through time. I've been doing this for a little bit. So, but that's a great question, is how do you figure out those boundaries?
Right.
And I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Good question. Any other thoughts, guys, or
Oh
questions?
yeah, I got two.
Yeah,
I
feel
got two.
free.
So, where are you from,
Mhm.
and who was your role model? Who impacted you the most?
Wow.
That's my question again.
Dang, look at
Man,
this.
y'all been you know what's sad? I didn't even expect these questions. That's the crazy part. I'm from New York. Shout out to New York and all the New Yorkers out there. Big up. You know, I was born in New York. My parents are Dominican. Were born in the islands. Moved to New York when they were teenagers.
Wow.
And so I was born and raised in New York. I went to school in Ohio for a year and then ended up in Virginia back in '97. I know that's a long time ago for y'all. But I've been here ever since. I've been in Hampton Roads, you know, since '99. So this is home now.
Yeah.
Speak Spanish, you know, true New Yorker. New Yorkers, they'll take their attitude and bring it to wherever they go.
Yes,
So
they
we just
do.
bring that attitude here.
I
So
know
I'm
so.
still a New Yorker at heart, but this is home.
Yeah.
And the second part of that was who
Who was-
inspired me?
Yes.
Wow, that's an interesting one. I think that for right now, the way I answer it now in the present is being able to really, as I find kind of more of my faith walk of what God has called me to be. You know, Life Change Institute, the tagline, the slogan that we use is transforming lives to what they were meant to be. For me, right now, it's just kind of really, really diving into more and more of really trying to understand what I was formed to be and
Right.
to become and to try to do. So that's kind of the present. Who inspired me growing up? You know, I got into social work. I got into psychology and social work from a community college professor. He was just a cool looking dude. He just had no cares in the world. I just wanted to be like him.
Right.
Growing up, who inspired me? You know, I had a really strong pastor growing up that was really cool. And now, presently here, I got two guys, shout out to Scott and to Matt, you know, that I call just my mentors here, that are just dudes that really just invested in me as a young man.
That's good.
To really make me a strong father, a strong husband, a strong person, and just, you know, didn't get scared away by my antics, by
Right.
my mistakes,
Right.
by my different ways that I approach life than them sometimes. They inspire me a lot.
Yeah.
I see what I can become, I think is what I see, right? You
That's
see
so
in
powerful.
them older people, and I'm like, yo, I want that.
Right.
So I think there's a few ways to answer that. I think
Yeah.
it's a real good question, and it's funny to me because I don't usually get at a loss for words. So that was pretty good.
Well, I did good, I guess.
You did good,
Well, you
man.
know what?
You
I
did good.
came up with another question.
Ah,
She might beat mine.
I hope so. So if you weren't where you are now doing counseling and where you are now, what do you think you would do or where you would be?
So my that is a good one.
Yeah, about to say, yeah, that's a
thank
good
you,
one.
thank you.
So back in our old days, man, you know, in the wise philosophical words of Biggie, you know, either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Well, I didn't have a great jump shot. I throw bricks like crazy. Wasn't into the drug thing, but I wanted to rhyme, and I love rhyming. I always wanted to put out a demo. I always wanted to, you know, and I'm still the old man with the demo tape coming out with all the gray hair. Like, I swear, like, I just
That's
love,
cool.
I love music.
Right.
Love
Same
music,
here.
and I'm passionate about music. I love to write. I love to write poetry. I love to write music. And that's my sort of journaling. That's my outlet for a lot of the same questions that I asked you guys was being able to kind of vent it and voice it there. So I would have pursued that. I don't know where I would be though, too. Like that's the other part. I love to travel, love to see the world. I've got friends in Nicaragua that I would love to go do work, and I want to be able to just influence somewhere. So that's another hard question because you know you can't rhyme but for so long.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
I'm 44 years old. You gonna buy my demo tape at 44 years
I
old?
do it.
Nah,
Yeah, I would.
I do it.
You're just saying that because you're sitting here, you know. But you know, that's an interesting one. I don't know that I could have seen me doing anything else. So I think that part of that, Destiny, is as you come into sort of learning more and more of what you're called to be, and you really, really start tuning into that, I don't think that there's a possibility that I could have done anything else because I know that I'm in my calling. So there wasn't another option. this is what I do, this is what I live, and this is what I am. And I'm just passionate and hungry about it, and I'm energized by that because I know that I'm in my groove. And I've been in my groove for a minute. So, yeah, I don't know that there would be anything else. I use music and I use all these other things to really make this mine, but I would have been doing this no matter what. I think that you could fight a calling no matter what, but you're called to, once you're called to it, you're doing it. It don't matter what you try to do, you're gonna do it. So,
Yeah.
you stuck with me like this. Y'all are stuck with me being a therapist like this. So,
I love
great
that.
questions, man. Thank you guys so much. And we want to wrap up now. I know that we went a little over, but that was on purpose because of some of our technical difficulties earlier. You know, I'll acknowledge the mistakes, it's okay, but I think that we had a great time.
Yeah.
We're so excited with Life Change Institute to be able to celebrate you three. We want to announce in 2021/22, you know, our goal is to grow. And so we want to expand this scholarship to be $6,000 for 2 students in 3 cities. And so we're gonna add Virginia Beach to the mix, and we're gonna keep adding a city and 2 scholarship winners for each city. We encourage people that you know, if you know folks that are in your schools that were a year younger or something,
Yes.
let's go. You know, it's there, you have to go get it, like you said, Jaden. But we here at Life Change want to make a difference. We want to be able to not just throw money at something, but really, really inspire young students to do something and to really know that they're supported. And so we want to keep expanding that. And so we're excited to announce that live here. We're excited to see, you know, what's funny is that we don't have it in the bank to do. And so we're going out on faith to make that happen.
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're excited about that. So that's what we're excited about. We're gonna do Life Change Lounge and continue to do this. I encourage you guys to stay connected to us. You're part of this Life Change family as the inaugural sort of class.
I know, right?
And so that's really
Yes.
cool. Anything that we could do to inspire and encourage you guys, please just know you've always got support here, and we are so proud of you. We speak for your parents and the adults in your lives when we say we're proud of you. Great job. Great job, every last one of you guys.
Thanks.
And so we really appreciate you guys. Take care. This is Life Change Lounge. Salaties out.
Bye.
Destiny, Michaela, Jaden, they are doing it. Peace out, y'all.